Hello, this is a reading for Aquarius for 2024. Just so you know, you are the last reading. We randomly selected the order of the readings, and Aquarius got the last place position, the last reading. And that doesn't mean you got last place in a race. That means that you are going to get a reading that comes after a whole lot of other readings. That's all it means. King of Pentacles, High Priestess. Nice. Ooh. I'll take note of that, but we'll get some cards to get started. This is just basically like, I don't know, a forecast or even just a little message for you to take with you for the year. Might come in handy at some point. From us, the collective, to you, the YouTube viewer. So you can say the YouTube if you put what's that, pejorative? Okay. Aquarius. We got a whole lot of Four of Cups in, like, maybe, let's say, like, a good 1/3 of the readings tonight. Either I pulled cards before I press record, and that's been on the stream, and so people here have seen that. Either before I press record or right during the reading. The Four of Cups has come, like, I don't want to hear about, and it's like there has been a qualifier for a lot of the readings of, like, not wanting to hear about a certain type of thing. Like, I don't want to hear about another year of work. I don't want to hear about another year of whatever. And yours starts out with an 8 of Swords. I don't want to see. And when it's an 8, there's something about a 4 of Cups. It's kind of personal. It's fast. It's immediate. It's kind of the state for now. The 8 of Swords is a little bit more of an installation. Four of Cups is something where you don't have to reach your hand out and take something if you don't want it. And so it's a very kind of, it doesn't take much. All you have to do is just say no. And it's just the act of saying no, and that's okay. It's maybe hard at sometimes to say no, but it's generally, like, just in the structure of it, it's an easy thing. You say no, you don't take. And end of story. Mission complete. Whereas an 8 of Swords requires some building material and some construction and some planning and some foresight. And so it's a little bit more installed based on, like, this would have been premeditated. It's based in your experiences. Not based in how you feel right now, based in what you've come to understand. There's something about Aquarius energy that has come to understand that now and for the next little while, just not really going to concern myself with. And it's this, Queen of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles. I love the Queen of Wands. It's one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck. That doesn't mean I love everyone who's doing Queen of Wands type stuff. I mean, I love everyone, but, you know, I'm not exactly fond of Queen of Wands no matter what Queen of Wands does. And in this case, this would be one where I can kind of see your point. Queen of Wands is someone who sees in others, and they know that they can see it in others because they know they have it in themselves. It's a level of self-awareness. It's like, I know that I'm this way, and I know that I look for that in others. It's an observing energy. I'm looking out there, and I understand, Queen of Wands says, that I'm looking out there, and what I see has everything to do with what I have in me, and it doesn't say much about what I see other than I'm seeing it. And that's a regal energy. It's someone who has a handle on their observations and someone who understands what their observations are about, which sounds pretty awesome. Except maybe for when someone is looking for suffering, looking for it's negativity. It's somebody who's looking to see what is wrong with things because that's the way they see things. And so it's somebody who's looking to reinforce their own. It's echo chamber material here. It's somebody who's looking to reinforce their own negativity by looking for negativity in things. And I see Aquarius energy, number 8. That should come in handy in a minute. Basically, having come to the conclusion for now, this is a structure. It's not necessarily a permanent brick house. It's just basically a shelter that you've built, a temporary shelter to just kind of not concern yourself too much with people who are just looking to reinforce their own negativity. Negativity is okay. It's okay to see the crappy parts of things. It's useful. We need to be able to see those things, that's for sure. But to do it in such a way where it's quite clearly to validate your own negativity, to look for things, to look for reasons why you're right to be such a negative person. That's something that's not really. It's kind of, there's already been a decision to kind of shelter yourself from that, and that's the 8 of Swords. And I'm not making a value judgment on that. I'm just saying that this is where the energy starts, and it's about this. And interesting, because I did note, I have these cards out here we've been using to just kind of, this is how we picked the order in it, and it's just these cards that say the signs. And this really looks like the water bearer, right? You are the one who holds the vessel. You're not, just because you're holding the vessel doesn't mean you have to take it all in. And that's a very Aquarius. This is a mature Aquarius stance. That you don't have to take in what someone else chooses to do. That's really cool. Sometimes you hold something precious because you want to honor it. And sometimes you hold something precious because you want to protect yourself from it. Both situations involve holding something out. Not getting too involved, not taking it personally, but understanding still that this is a part of something that you're responsible for. There's a sense of responsibility. It's not like you could walk away. It's not like you're walking away. It's that you're choosing not to engage with it. You're choosing not to make it the focus point of your thoughts. And that's the key there. The 8 of Swords, the active choice to remain where you are and to build a shelter around yourself rather than looking for greener grass elsewhere. And to work with what you have, understanding that there's water beneath your feet, there's water flowing, and also that you don't have to take it all in, that you have enough where you are. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Eight of Swords is kind of seen sometimes as a self-imposed prison. And I would say something like, in this case, there are always reasons for doing it. There are always reasons for sheltering yourself from certain types of energy, certain types of stances, certain types of people. I see, and they do good work. This looks like almost like a professional decision to not take it personally that somebody's generally a negative person, because they do good work, and maybe it's somebody you've worked with people and you've learned to maybe this is like a compromise, how you can stay working with people and not take in their general atmosphere, not making it your atmosphere. Your atmosphere is different. Preserving your atmosphere. It does kind of leave you strapped for options, though. When you have discovered a strategy that works with someone, it kind of it's a temporary solution, and it kind of works, but we can kind of get bound in with it, because over time, like, unless you come up with a new strategy, and it's like, who wants to come up with a new strategy? That would involve taking this shelter down and exposing yourself to the element again. And so there's not really much incentive. And I think that's the trouble with the Eight of Swords that comes out of that card. Not so much the fact that you have sheltered yourself. It's that when you shelter yourself in this temporary kind of way, you've built a temporary structure that's designed to last for a temporary period of time. And you haven't left yourself an exit strategy. There is no strategy available for building something more permanent. It's kind of designed to leave you trapped there, and you can start feeling trapped around energy that you've sheltered yourself from in this way. As much as it might feel liberating at first, this kind of feels a little bit like when, and then you work with somebody, right? And you figured out how to just kind of let them do their thing, not take it personally, and just focus on the good work that they do. Okay, good. And eventually, like, it's like every Monday it becomes, oh, right, I've got to do that thing again to like appease this person because it's just easier, and it makes it so I don't have to take them personally. And it becomes this little thorn in your side, or it feels you have to do these things. It's an obligation. Now, we could argue that this energy imposes that condition on you, because what else are you supposed to do? And all the while, we can acknowledge, basically, without taking into account what it is that they have done or forced you to do, we can just we've already got ourselves in a position where we're not taking that personally. You're taking personal responsibility for your own lot. This is the situation, rather than this is what they forced me to do, because even that would be too much, I think. There's like something here, like it's more than fair to do this. There's a justice card here. Like, what else are you going to do? If you're stuck with somebody, if you're stuck in the same room with somebody, and you've got to work with somebody, or you've got to get along with somebody, and they just rub you the wrong way, and you've developed some kind of way to bypass that and just be there anyway, what else are you going to do? More than fair. And more than fair as well, that this won't last. It's kind of like Band-Aid solution. Band-Aid solution doesn't last. It's just a quick little temporary shelter, and there's supposed to be something healing underneath, or you're supposed to be able to the Band-Aids to be ripped off at some point, and they're supposed to expose a scar maybe, but something that's healed up. I wonder if let me get another card here just to kind of confirm. I kind of sense the direction being about what happens when the Band-Aid's ripped off and you haven't had a chance to even address that energy in the context of how it affects you. Is that still an open wound? Or has it healed up? Does time heal wounds? Does time make you stronger? Are you able to heal in ways that you don't even know if you just step away from something and stop letting it poke at you? The world. You might be afraid of getting yourself into something. There's a situation here where it's like the Band-Aid's being ripped off, or there has been, obviously, there's just the course of things. What's fair, what's natural is that this doesn't last, that you can't keep up this strategy forever. Eventually, it feels kind of like you're trapped. You have to put yourself back into this environment where this type of person exists, or maybe this exact person is. Or there's something that you have to do. It might even be this works in a certain environment, and now you have to go into a different environment. For whatever way that it turns out that you have to kind of tear down this structure, this way that you deal with somebody, so that you don't take how they are personally. By whatever mechanism, the Band-Aid's being ripped off, and you're going to be exposed to this energy in a personal way in 2024. And I have a card here, the world, that you are going to be pleasantly surprised to find. That despite the fact that people often shame or look down on people who have just kind of learned to function, to find ways to function, or to find ways to get what they want, even if it means doing things that aren't necessarily, it's not unethical, but it's maybe not your most integral work. You might have something to say of like, well, I don't agree with that, but if I thought about it, it would screw me up. So I'm just not going to think about it. And I'm just going to ignore it. Maybe not your most integral work. Maybe not the like gems of your character coming out here. Or maybe so, because what I'm seeing here is you're pleasantly surprised to find that despite the fact that this structure wasn't made of maybe what you would consider to be your most advanced level of thinking, it protected you, and you emerge more capable. That's 2024 for you. It's exposure to things that you've sheltered yourself from for a temporary period of time. And I can understand, I can see and hear already, because you can't really see what you're about to get into. You really can't know. It's like this type of thing leaves you without a way of testing the waters. You kind of have to just kind of jump into it to find out. And the World card is here to say that this cycle, or it's like a cycle, or it's basically this process has completed. This wound has healed. This way that you are affected by this type of energy, somehow, believe it or not, you come out of this stronger and more capable of dealing with this stuff. By disengaging with it, by removing yourself from taking any of it personally for a period of time, something healed. Ace of Cups. And the Knight of Wands. Oh no. And I'm really sorry, but this is like, what? No, you've got to be kidding me. I think it's a very specific person. I feel like this is a specific person who used to rub you the wrong way. And maybe there will be, everybody has their type of person who rubs them the wrong way. Or even who pokes them in places that hurt. And you just, ugh. And I'm just seeing here, you're not going to believe this. It's like you're going to tell a story to someone else that is like, you're not going to believe who I ran into today. And they impromptu asked me if they wanted to go for a cup of coffee. If I wanted to go for a cup of coffee. And you know I don't like that person, but I was like, oh, might as well figure that out. Or it's like, you wouldn't believe what happened after work today. They randomly asked me if I wanted to go and have a drink. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And for some reason I said yes. And you go and spend some time with somebody. And you decide to let your guard down. And it's going to be absolutely stunning. Because it's going to be lovely. Now, that's not with everybody. That's not with all things. But I feel like you know what I'm talking about here. This is like somebody you've had to kind of... And I'm not predicting, I'm not going to... Not a spoiler alert for you. I'm maybe reminding you of a time when you thought you really didn't like someone. And maybe at that time you didn't. And maybe at that time that person's kind of general stance, how they view the world kind of hits you in a place where you're just not comfortable being hit right now. And so you shelter yourself from that person. And down the road, a situation comes up where I always, this kind of situation is like that. You get stuck in an elevator with somebody or, and you're in a vulnerable position, not like against your will. This looks like something they invite you to something or, they have Ace of Cups here is just, want to go for drinks after work. A friendly gesture. Surprising. Like, really? Yeah, okay. And then maybe you're driving there after work or you're taking the transit and you're, oh, I can't believe I said yes to this. What am I going to do? I can't am I going to socialize with this person? Really? And you're not going to believe it. As it turns out, Aquarius. There might have been this uncertainty about it, like, is it me? Is it them? I don't even know. I don't even know if it's me. I don't even know if it's them. It doesn't matter. The point is like, this has got to stop. So I'm just going to stop taking what they say personally. I'm just going to figure out a way to get through the day. And so it never got resolved. Is it me or is it them? Some things are just too triggering. Some things are just too harsh. And as much as we want to be strong and capable of encountering whatever we encounter, we all need a little gentleness. We all need a certain level of, agreeability. We all need something to not constantly grate on us. And if this is something that can happen at whatever cost, and the cost isn't too steep, I keep circling back in disbelief in these cards. I keep wanting to move forward to say, you won't believe you're not going to expect this. As it turns out, it was them and it was you all at the same time. It was who they were and it's who you were. And that combination was just volatile for a chemistry reason. And you made the right decision. And as this kind of decision plays out, it was temporary. And now you're faced with a basically a forced situation or a required situation or a sudden situation. Knight of Wands. It's sudden. It's fast. It comes on where you don't really have time to reason through whether or not it's the best thing to do. Just you're put in a situation right quick where you choose to say, okay, yeah, why not? And as it turns out, it looks to me like somebody was very aware that they're this way. And when you decided to kind of step back and not take how they were personally and just work with them, it looks to me like if they're that aware of themselves, if they are kind of self-aware, they were kind of aware of that too. Like they're aware of how people treat them. They're aware. And I don't think you were mean. I don't think there's rude here. I think it's just a decision to just kind of not take it in and, a working relationship, functional relationship. And what comes out of it is somebody who took the opportunity, this rare opportunity they have to try again with somebody or to just have another shot with somebody, and they take this opportunity to show you that they've reflected on how they were by being just a precise kind of lovely with you. A precise kind of lovely with you that you don't find too often. You know those people you meet and it's like, I don't know why I know this, but they are a soul friend. And you first meet them and you just click, you just connect. How is it possible that somebody who was so off-putting at first ends up being someone you later discover in a very random incident is actually your type of people? Queen of Pentacles. Well, would you look at that? Such a rare gem of a circumstance. And maybe I'm flashing you back to a memory. We got something in the last reading for Scorpio about how time is emotion, emotion is time, and the link between those two is memory. That sometimes the work is done in the water. That the work is done, that work that needs to be done is in separation and in the healing space. And sometimes you might not have a perception that somebody they're even capable of perceiving, how they hit you the wrong way, because when someone hits you the wrong way, it would be it'd be one of those scenarios of like, I don't think you, like, just the way that an Eight of Swords is formed, it's just like there's a little bit of there would be some doubt in there. It's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'll do something. And it's like a scrambling to do something. If you're sure of yourself, you walk away. But if you're not sure and you don't know what you need to do, and it's kind of not bad enough to justify a drastic action, just something more, well, I'll keep my part at bay. And then that way, we'll see. This kind of already indicates that there's just this kind of self-doubt. You don't know if it's you don't know if it's them, or maybe it's a combination of the both. Probably don't know what to do about it. It's uncertainty that leads us to that place. And you're getting like a shout out. You're getting a shout out. it's almost like giving someone the benefit of the doubt over time, and by accident. Giving someone a benefit of the doubt over time and by accident. Just so happens that your uncertainty or the shaky ground you were on about kind of what was the right thing to do kind of put you in a position where you weren't ready to make such a bold decision about it, which kind of put you in a position to only make a temporary fix, which actually put you in a position to still hold some benefit of doubt for someone later when this structure inevitably needs to be torn down. Can't say it's and this is again, I hear Aquarius like, not my most aware work, I can't take credit for it exactly, but the Magician is here to say, look at what you created with what you didn't even know you were doing just by being yourself and feeling out the situation and doing your best, the best with what you had. So if you can think back to a friendship like this, where you maybe just kind of like, or a friendship or a work relationship or something like that, where there's somebody who hits you the wrong way and you come up with some kind of strategy to deal with it, just to kind of keep things flowing. And you emerge from a situation, maybe even years later, reconnecting with this person and actually figuring out that they're a really cool person and it was just a moment in time. Look at what you created without even being aware you were doing it. Just by being your genuine self. Aquarius. The water in the swords is so relevant, right? This is such an Aquarius card, the Eight of Swords. I don't know if it's officially an Aquarius card, but I see the imagery here. The water bearer is the Aquarius, but the Eight of Swords is like the water bearer inside out. It's someone who is forcing themselves to stay with their own water rather than carrying someone else's water in a vessel and holding it at bay. What you ended up essentially doing in a situation like this is forcing yourself to feel how you feel about something, and not just generally, but specifically, to the point where your decisions guided you toward something that would later turn out to be quite magical. Of course, this is a trust yourself reading. And you might be somebody who says, well, it wasn't my most intelligent work, but it was something and it worked, Don't downplay this stuff in 2024. Or at the very least, if you're having a situation where you're coming up with temporary solutions for things and you might feel a little bit like, I should know how to deal with this stuff by now, but I'm just kind of quick fixing stuff. Don't forget about times when you quick fix something and the nature of a quick fix being temporary actually left you present in something for long enough to experience what would be the magic of it later down the road. You're so used to carrying the water in a vessel. I'm getting this. You're so used to carrying this in a vessel, to compartmentalizing maybe, that when you can't compartmentalize someone else, all you can do is compartmentalize your own, like isolate almost even. There's this Aquarius, like, I'm supposed to be able to hold anything and everything. I'm supposed to be able to guide and lead everyone into the future. I'm supposed to be able to get along with this person. I should be able to get along with everybody. And sometimes you can't. And that is what this is about right here. In 2024, starts and also continues. Either you're to remember this pleasant surprise or you'll experience something quite like that. And the reading is here to encourage you to recognize last minute temporary solutions as a valid form of genius. Aquarius is genius. Aquarius, everybody who has Aquarius in their chart has some form of genius. And if you have an Aquarius sun sign or Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising maybe, or they're still, like, however you go around with it, but there's Aquarius is genius. You might resonate with this as an Aquarius sun would be like, I don't know how I just did that, but I did. And I knew I'd do it. So that's kind of like the Aquarius vibe. And the evolution is here for you right at the beginning of the year, or even still throughout the year, is little temporary things, little temporary fixes are going to start to reveal themselves as having been acts of pure genius. Little things that you've done to solve something for now are about to turn into the deepest, most fruitful relationships, friendships, engagements, reciprocal environments. 2024 is going to give you a good taste of your own genius. I have Judgment here. I have Eight of Wands here. And those who are able to step into this role, to be the one who hears your temporary solution, who is aware enough to know that people pick up on what you're doing, right? Like, you're not acting in secret. You're out in the open in an Eight of Swords. Everybody can see you except for you sometimes, but that's okay. There's something here even still about the fact that not everybody can see you. Those who are aware of themselves can see you. Those who would do the same can see you. Those with empathy can see you. And those with empathy are capable of hitting you the wrong way. Just because somebody hits you the wrong way doesn't mean they're a bad person. You know that. That's why you didn't, completely throw away the interaction or the relationship. And those with the empathy and self-awareness enough to use this time to heal themselves, or even to recognize that they can do things differently, those are the ones who are given the firm go-ahead. The firm go-ahead. Those with the integrity to see the value in the things that you do to make things work are given the go-ahead to support you, to be there for you. Ten of Pentacles is loyalty. The people who you've met in this way, Aquarius, in 2024 are the people who are loyal to you. The people who you've connected with in this way, in this very unique way, and who have a deeper insight into your genius. Those are the people who are truly loyal to you. The people who maybe none of us can understand you. We don't know what you're doing here with this avant-garde structure you've built in the middle of a desert, but well, look at it's keeping the water in. It's keeping the water in. It sure is. Absolutely. Could we have thought of something different for you to do? Probably, but I don't know. That might have been then, and now that there are people, if this is the type of person who, would they have had a thought about that? I don't know. Maybe but just because we don't get it doesn't mean it's not going to work. Doesn't mean it's actually not, well, just because we don't get it doesn't exclude your very interesting structure that you've just built. It doesn't exclude it from being something we'll later recognize as absolutely brilliant. And once I can see that brilliance in you, those who do see that brilliance in you, that's the loyalty of someone who believes in you. And that's worth its weight in gold. The only crux, the only thing, I want to end it there because it's so magical. There's just one more thing that's hiding underneath of all of this. And it's kind of hard to see from this position of just kind of emerging from a lot going on right now, you know. If I peel back these cards and I just go back to this Queen of Wands, my ultimate favorite tarot card that isn't my favorite all the time. There's exceptions to every rule, I guess. And this Two of Cups that's kind of layered on top. This is reciprocal. This is reciprocal. And what somebody offered to you in this event where they later realized that they had more, they could do things differently that would be better for you. What they offered you was their self-awareness. I wish you could see my face right now. I've got my face tilted down and I'm looking up at you with just kind of like my lips closed tight, like so the reciprocity here. No, I know you're going to be good with this. The reciprocity here is for you to believe in yourself, because you have to see that in yourself before someone else can see it in you. Before you even believe that somebody could see it in you, you have to see it in yourself. And I'm going to do that little thing where I go, so it's pretty amazing that things happen this way, and it does seem pretty magical. And as genius as it was, and as much as you're not meant to understand the mechanisms of all the things, all the genius things you do, even you are not meant to understand how you did most of the things you do. You're to act on these instincts that drive you to do brilliant things. In hindsight, that's a different story. It's not that anybody needs you to understand or to all of a sudden develop the ability to understand how you went about building this perfectly shaped structure that actually hit every single note of what was needed in order to drastically improve a situation. It's that we just need you to recognize that this is a form of brilliance that you have in you. We need you to be able to see that in yourself so that the others who recognize it, who are seeing it in you and are basically appreciating very much the way that you give them space to grow and change. Those are the things that they want to express their loyalty to. And so those are the things that you're going to have to acknowledge in yourself before you can receive. And believe it or not, when you acknowledge those things, when you see those things in yourself, that is actually your contribution to this reciprocal relationship. It's almost like you give somebody an opportunity. You believe in somebody by accident, by not having enough to ditch them. They end up figuring out that they believe in themselves because of that. And now they want to believe in you. And they need for you to believe in yourself in order for that to be an even exchange. Can you do it for them? Okay, we're going to stop there. Thank you so much for watching the reading. Happy 2024. I'm very excited to see what happens as you discover the wonder of just basic genius that's in you. Come see us on Twitch if you want to check out our live readings. That's where we are for the most part, because Twitch is better. I don't know. I have more fun doing that. But this was actually really fun. But we're doing both. I'm actually on Twitch right now. Maybe that's what it is. I have to do YouTube readings on Twitch, and then it's fun. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye now.